Hello, it's time to talk about what I read in September. We have a lot of comics, and we have definitely a variety of books outside of the comics. It's a weird one. So starting off with, I read Virginia Woolf's Lighthouse. I I have very mixed feelings about this. I liked it, but I don't know that I like. I think I wanted to like it more than I actually did. If I'm gonna be honest. But anyway, I've had this same myself for forever, so I'm glad to finally have read it. I also at some point want to make a list of there's an oracle called oh gosh, I'm gonna put it here once I remember what it is. But it's a bunch of authors, and I made it my goal to eventually get to every author in that list. And I haven't yet, but I'm knocked one off the list, so that's exciting. Then we're gonna start briefly into comics here. We have Loki, Agent of Asgard, the complete collection. This was fun. If you don't like Loki, you won't like this. That's basically yeah, this was nice. It was nice to just immerse myself in a really thick, beefy comic run. Again, I didn't really read Daredevil, but getting a character that I don't normally typically read a whole lot of, this was nice. Then in other comics, I read Criminal Volume 1, Coward. Okay, so I knew that each volume was self-contained stories. I did not realize that for the most part, these self-contained stories will take place in the same universe, have nothing in common, not really characters or anything. So I was disappointed with the ending of this, if only because my expectations of what was happening here were incorrect. I liked this though. I loved this a lot, and I'm very excited for the TV show adaptation, and I will read the other volumes. This hurt me in a way that I will not explain because it will spoil the ending of this. But, yeah, it's fine. I'll be fine. I promise. Or I won't. Who knows? And then in other, it's been on my TBR way too long. I finally finished, First Woman, The Grace and Power of America's Modern First Lady. I wish there are certain sections of this book that I wish were more in depth, and there are other sections that I could have taken or left. And honestly, what I would like to see is a book like this, but from a more modern feminist take. This book's actually not that old. This book actually came out in 2015, 2016. But I don't know, it felt, there are certain aspects of it, like the discussions of motherhood, and I wish I wanted more. I wanted more of a discussion about how I can't even form into words what I wanted more of this book. It wasn't, I probably could if I really thought about it, but right now it's just escaping my brain. But anyway, this was fine, and I'm glad I read it, and I definitely think it definitely I think it's useful to think about in terms of things I didn't know, but then continuing in slight disappointments, we have Dark Restraint by Katie Robert. No, don't get me wrong, I liked this book. I did. I just think that it is the weakest of the Dark Olympus books. And that's just because I personally don't really care for this character, these two characters' relationship dynamic. It just doesn't do it for me. That being said though, the setups that we got in this book for books 8 and 10, or 8 and 9, immaculate, chef's kiss. I'm so excited for Sea Obsession, which comes out in April, and then I don't know if we have the top for book 9 yet, but I'm also very excited for that, just because of what's in here. It's gonna be so good. So good. Then I quickly knocked out volumes 15, 16, and 17 of My Hero Academia. I'm not gonna lie, these two just felt like a lot of build-up for this one. So I didn't enjoy these two as much as this one, but these were fine, and it felt nice to go back to this series after a really long time. But yeah, no, I quickly knocked those out. And then I was like, okay, I still have like 10 days left of the month. And I could continue on with just like the next book on my media list. Or we could not. So I decided to not. My original plan was I was just gonna knock out some of this, because I started this back in like March maybe. But anyway, I did finally finish the Iliad this month, which I was not expecting. This is the translation from Emily Wilson. I wish that I had known more about what happens in the Iliad going in. Like, there were some parts that I, like, obviously knew. But, like, it's not so much in the same way, like, I know the plot points of the Odyssey. So I kind of wish that I had, like, gone in a little bit more prepared. But I really enjoyed this, and, yeah. At some point, I do have a translation of the Odyssey, and I will probably get to that next year. But I'm also, like, I'm not forcing it, also, is what I'm gonna say. But, yes. Those are the books that I read in September. And now we're going to cut to me from like a week ago talking about what books I'm going to read in October. I'm in a different shirt because I actually filmed this before I filmed what I've read this month. So let's talk about what I read in what I'm going to read in October-ish. So first up, we have got the Under the Pendulum Sun. I actually will stand right up front that a lot of these books have trigger warnings, and you should definitely go look them up if these sound interesting to you. But yes, anyway, this is about siblings that find themselves in the Feywild, and I'm so excited for this. I've heard nothing but good things. The person who suggested this book to me or the person that suggested this book, like recommended this book, not suggested it to me. We didn't have an actual conversation about this, but well, we did, but later. Mentioned my favorite movie in their review of this, so that's why I picked it up, or one of my favorite movies, I should say. Speaking of S.T. Gibson, the one who recommended this book, Odd Spirits. This is a novella. As of filming this, it's not out yet. It comes out on the 8th, and I am so excited for this. This will be my palate cleanser between this and the next book on the list, which is The Sins on Their Bones. This is, from my understanding, a queer, dark fantasy heavily based in Jewish mythology. Again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, but from the reviews that I've seen, that is sort of the vibes. This deals a lot in body horror. It's queer. It's about abusive relationships. And also found family. Like, I'm so excited for this. Very much so. And then, so I'm sort of doing this thing where it's like trying to have a palate cleanser in between some of the harder, darker books. So my other palate cleanser is going to be Wisteria by Adeline Grace. This is the third and final book in the Belladonna trilogy, although we are getting a novella next year called Holly. So I'm very excited about that. These books, by the way, like the first editions of these, are absolutely stunning. Like, okay, first off, you got these gorgeous unpavers, but then like, what? Anyway, I'm obsessed with this entire series. This is like YA, young adult, but like, I have been thoroughly in love with it since I picked up book one. Anyway, it's lovely, just all of the goodness, and I'm very excited to read this and like finish the series, even though I'm gonna be very sad to be over. But luckily we have Holly coming out, so I guess it'll be fine. But that's not coming out next year, so yes. Next up we have The God of Endings by Jacqueline Holland. This is about a vampire who teaches at, like, I think an art school. Yes, a fine art school. And it's just kind of done with life. And honestly, I love that. I'm very excited to read this. Then I don't know if I'm gonna get to both of these next year. We'll see. Because some of those books are like definitely bigger in terms of like page count. Like, I think Pendulum is like 500 pages. So we'll see if I get to these. If I do not get to these though, these perfectly line themselves up with a project that I'm planning on doing next year. So I'm definitely gonna get to them next year if I don't get them this year. I will talk more about that project when we get closer to December. So there'll be like there'll be a 2024 goals reflection, and my goals are 2025. So I'm saving to, even though I have sort of an idea of what I want to do next year, I am saving that video until we get closer to December. Especially because then I actually will have how badly I've messed up with my goals for this year. year. It's not looking great, guys, but here we are. But yeah, so these two might end up being next year reads, but I did pick them out and they do fit with the vibes that I have going on. This first one is A Dark and Drowning Tide by Alison Shaft. I was told that this was, by people who've read this book, that it was academic rivals, sapphic, and I was like, yes, please, I don't need to know anything else. But yeah, so I'm very excited for this one. And again, like I said, if I don't get to it in February, no. Why did I say February? Next month is October. If I don't get to this in October or November, like I said, it's easily going to slot into my plans for next year, so I'm very excited. And then, Dark Immortal by Tigress Grimm. I might be pronouncing that wrong, and I'm so sorry. But can we please take a look at the gorgeous spread edges? Not only the gorgeous spread edges, but the absolutely fabulous, like, it looks like an old library tag. Like, Anyway, this is also young adults. These are the back of this. Anyway, this is a boarding school, but vampires. And specifically, a human trying to get revenge on the vampires who killed her family. Like, as someone who's obsessed with vampires and dark academia, like, also this is book one in a trilogy, and I'm so excited to pick this up. Like I said, if I don't get to this in the fall, it's definitely going to be top of my priority for the new year. I'm so excited about this one. But yeah, so those are my October picks for my TBR. Again, I don't expect to fully get through all of those, but like I said, the last two will easily find their way into priority for next year, because of my goals for next year. But yeah, I'm very excited for all the books, and I will see you next time.